This is the Offenders Podcast. You are directly in violation of Penal Code 113, Section 8. The word used, fuck, shit, piss, dick, cunt, and other foul language. Viewer discretion advised.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Offenders Podcast. As always, I'm Kyle, joined with my co-host, Evan.
I looked to my left, and Shane did the fucking shit where you take your hands, and you turn them upside down, and you put them on your face and make a mask for your eyeballs. I'm sorry, my name's Evan, and Shane's sitting next to me making the fucking eyeball hand mask.
I knew I would get you when you're looking the other way.
You killed him.
You killed me, you bastard.
I want to start off on a good note this week. Because you had a bad experience, so I want to bring you back.
Speaking of a good note, let me read, as previously mentioned last week, all that time ago has lapsed.
Yeah, oh God. I barely remember.
I know. I'm going to read to you, as you may or may not have remembered, we stayed at a hotel for MomoCon, and it was really shitty. They fucked up the parking. They charged us for parking. Wouldn't let us park there because they filled up the parking lot that we already paid for, and then they lost my car. So, all in all, I decided, usually I'm just like, man, this sucks. I'm going to write a letter. And I don't. I get home and I fucking read manga instead. But this time I was like, I am going to write a letter. The last letter that I read was the Checkers letter. And that was pretty bad, too.
Can you read this one in a voice for us? A voice of my choosing?
I was going to go with Dapper British Gentleman, but...
I think that would fit.
Okay, then that'll sound good.
Okay, in honor of Epic Australian Man, we have just recently found. I'm going to read you the letter that I wrote to the Doubletree Fuckery Hotel. I have never stayed in such a horrible hotel. First off, your parking lot is to be ridiculed. I'm pretty sure your company doesn't give a crap at all about the vehicles in the first place, and it's completely pointless to charge to stay in a regular parking lot. If you would have told me it would cost me $10 American a night to have some poor idiot stare off into nothing and block the entrance with some giant plant, I would have gone to a different hotel in the first place. Not only that, but one night when I returned, they informed me that the parking that I had paid for was not available because someone else was in it. The guy actually told me to go park somewhere else. I literally had to restrain myself from making a 7-year-old backsass remark like, "You go park somewhere else." But I successfully held it back. There was obviously some obnoxiously loud Corvette get-together, which had taken up all of the parking, even the grass. I finally decided to park right in front of the door and go talk to the manager. And they told me to leave my key and someone would valet it in the morning. Important information like that is helpful to communicate to the employees who are telling you to park somewhere else. After we got squared away, I couldn't sleep until after 1 a.m. because a bunch of old men were dancing to shitty music while getting a bunch of women drunk in hopes of giving them a night that they will regret in the morning. Whatever. Everyone can party. But that's just bad planning for the other hotel guests. Oh, and I forgot to mention that housekeeping came by one time. And I asked them if they could come back in an hour, and they never did. Also, the valet actually lost my vehicle. I stood outside for at least 20 minutes while he was looking for it. My fault. I could have sat inside, but I didn't want him to lose me as well. I'm running out of characters in your format, but first I apologize as you've had to read this and it is not your fault, but rather your company's fault. Lastly, I don't want coupons. Just at least give me back the $20 for the parking sham. Thanks. And that's the letter.
There's a little bit of Winnebago man in that voice.
At moments, there's a little bit of Winnebago man in my everyday life. Damn son of a bitch! So, long story short, they sent me a $50 American Express gift card.
Have you used it yet? Have you received it yet?
Yeah, I've received it. I just haven't used it. I'm just like, holy shit, it worked. And then I put it on the table.
To forget
Careful.
you.
Some gift cards expire.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be using it this week.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys know how that goes.
All right.
Another thing to remember with those cards like that is if you use it and you don't use the entire $50, remember how much is on there, because if you go to use it and you only want to say, you know, and there's only $10 but it costs $20, it will decline the card. So you have to remember exactly how much is on there down to the penny.
Okay.
Really? Because some places don't do that. There's some places that like you can just put your money with it and it'll take it.
Nah, when I used to work at GameStop, that would happen all the time. If somebody didn't know how much was on that card and they ran it for something that was more, it doesn't work like a gift card with us. It's like a credit card because it's through American Express or Visa.
Oh.
And so when they do that, it's just like it's not enough on there. The balance is too low. It's declined. So, because it's dialing out to find out how much is on there. So, but if you know how much is on there, I can type in, oh, it's $10.51 on here, and then you just pay the difference.
Oh, okay.
So, it's just easier. You can always call and find out later, but it's just easier to know how much is on there when you go to use it. Or use it all in one shot.
Okay.
So.
You know what I should do? I should spend 30 of those dollars on what the fuck ever I want. And that last $20, I should call the Doubletree Hotel and be like, the next guy who wants to park here is parking for free.
Nice.
On key.
That would be really cool if they would do that, but instead one of them be like, fuck that, boy! I go get me a hamburger. A $20 hamburger.
Shit.
Yeah.
What fuckery is this?
That's one of those things, like, it would be cool to do, but, like, it would be better if, like, you walked in and it's like the next guy who comes in behind me. I've seen people do that at, like, toll gates. You know, like
I've done that at Starbucks before, like buy people coffee behind me.
Yeah.
Little things like that I do all the time, but I've never paid for somebody's parking. I've never had to because bullshit-ass fucking hotels
That's
make
the
you park in
worst.
a goddamn their own parking lot and pay for it.
That reminds me of some fucking Looney Tunes shit and stuff like that, where it's like, how much for that can of beans? It is only $0.25. Oh, okay. And you take it. It's like, you got a can opener? That'll be $20.
Yep.
It's like, you can't use the thing that you just bought.
And they fill you full of false hopes because when you get there, it's like, here, have a cookie. And I was like, yes! Any hotel that gives you a cookie when you fucking sign your credit card receipt is obviously awesome.
I mean, it was a nice hotel, too.
Yeah, it had a great fitness room. I got my run in on Saturday morning.
Here, have a cookie. Oh, I seem to have dropped it. Could you bend over and pick it up? And I'm going to charge you $20 for it.
Those motherfuckers.
Yeah, the cookie charge. Well, then there's the water, too. That we didn't mention. There's water in the hotel room, and I was like, yeah, don't drink that. They'll probably charge you. But then Evan and Jacob both drank it. It was like $2.50 a bottle.
Oh, my God, it really was.
We got out scot-free, though, because they didn't charge me shit.
Nice. They might have been like, fuck that. After all that other shit, let's just not worry about it.
They trap your room with fucking bottles of water.
Either that or room service still hasn't come by to realize it.
That's what it is. They still haven't cleaned the room.
You know, there's another thing I forgot to mention at they're having at MomoCon. I forgot to mention my hat.
Oh, man!
So, like, the first day we got there was this booth that had, like, bro hats, basically is the best way of putting it, like,
Korean
douche
bro hats.
Yeah, that's what they were. And so there was one that said cocaine and caviar. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I'll buy that. And we were going to go back, and when I was going to buy it, I didn't realize they had a hat that just said "the bastard" across the front of it.
Oh my goodness!
And under the bill, it had one of those like gentlemanly mustaches embroidered, so like you could flip the bill in front of your face and have a gentlemanly mustache.
Yep.
So I was like, never mind, I'm buying that hat. And I wore that hat the entire convention. And I would like wear it more and more bro to the point where it's barely on my head. It's just like, and Evan every time would turn and look at me and just laugh because I'd adjust it each time where it's like worse.
Like you would even start broing out like a girl would walk by and you'd be like, damn!
Yeah, I did. I had the limp. I had the lean too. I would do. This is more like a convulsion though. I couldn't really get it right.
It's funny, I forgot to mention this to you. On the drive home, Jacob was like, man, I wish I could say damn at women like Kyle could.
What?
I was like, you should have got the hat!
Is this a special skill? Oh, it's an equipped skill. You have to have the hat.
You have to equip the hat. Plus one douchebaggery.
That hat actually led to me and another guy deciding that for Halloween we're going to go as bros.
You should.
Yeah, like we already decided like what we got to get, like boat shoes and like pink polos so we can pop our collars and like red Solo cups that we always have to carry.
Yep.
But
Let your hair grow out shaggy a little bit, just enough to like do the flip up under the hat.
Yeah, but like when I go to conventions, I guess the best way to put it is I kind of wild out a bit. I'm just like, whatever. I'm not going to see any of these people ever again. Fuck it. The worst things that happen are going to kick me out or get arrested.
Hey, what do you know? Minor.
Yeah, no big deal.
Minor.
So, A minor?
Let's not go there.
Okay.
We're not priests. We're not Catholic.
So, I think we're just going to kind of shoot the shit again.
We're going to talk a couple video game things. Kyle's going to bring up some E3 business.
Yeah, that's true. E3 just happened. Actually, it just finished up this past week. And there's a lot of stuff that came out of there this year. Some of it's kind of who gives a shit, but that's every year. I will say this, though, and I've talked to several people about it. This is probably the best E3 that there's been in the last 2 to 3 years. Because last year was all new console stuff, and it was just kind of, we didn't really know anything. The year before that was the end of that cycle of consoles, so there was no real big announcements other than the shit you see every year. But this year, it's the first real year for the PS4, the Xbox One, and then also the Wii U. It's like the second year, really. So there's a lot of titles that were announced for them. Mm-hmm. And one of them was, I think it's across it's across PS4 and Xbox One, but it's the new Mortal Kombat X. And it looks pretty good, I will say. Mm-hmm. Like, it's pretty quick combat compared to some of the past stuff. And they still have a lot of the, like, I don't remember if this was in the last one or not, 9, but the one where, like, if you hit people sometimes, like, in certain ways, like, they would zoom in and, like, X-ray so you could see, like, rib cage breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's actually called the X-ray move.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah, they have that stuff back in there. They were saying, the NetherRealms people who are making it again are saying that there'll be more new characters in this Mortal Kombat than there's ever been in any Mortal Kombat game.
Damn right. There's going to be orange ninjas and fuchsia ninjas.
Well, part of it's because it's set like, I think, 20 years or some time frame after the last game happened. So it's set like 20 or 30 years in the future. So like the kid of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage is in there, and there's a bunch of other people. Cassie Cage, that's her name.
I gotta say, man, I'm pretty excited about Mortal Instinct. Killer Combat. Mortal Instinct. Shit. Mortal Kombat X. Why are you saying that, Evan? Let me tell you why. Because gone are the days where your character had 5 special moves.
That's been gone for a while.
Now, this is the one thing that intimidates the shit out of me about this game. Each character that you pick has 3 completely different move sets. So it's no longer just Sub-Zero has these moves. Now Sub-Zero 1 has these moves, Sub-Zero 2 has these moves, Sub-Zero 3 has these moves. So if you want to play a character, you have to learn all 3 of them, or just get really good with one.
Yeah. Well, what will happen? And truthfully, I don't think Mortal Kombat's ever really been a competitive fighting game.
The last one actually got entered into Evo.
Okay.
9 was because they brought up the combo system, which is why I made the joke.
Okay. So that's probably the first one really that's been heavily involved in one of these, fighting game tournaments. So I don't really know how people will try to, if they'll try to find out, like, oh, this moveset's way better than the other one, so I'm not going to deal with it or stuff like that,
Oh, no. They will.
Yep.
I mean,
that will always happen.
If it's in a tournament,
if it's not in a tournament, it will happen.
It will happen, but it won't be as big a deal because you won't have like these people trying to go play it professionally. Mm. But what happens in that is you always have the guys who figure out like, I remember Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was always Magneto, Sentinel, and Storm. That's like what half the people would use because they were like the best moveset and the most broken. Maybe alternate 1 or 2 of the characters out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's quite as bad in most of the newer games because they're a lot more balanced. But still, there's always those characters that are way better than the others. So
and for me, I nearly had a fucking heart attack and a brain aneurysm trying to decide which one I was going to use for Scorpion. Let me tell you why. Number 1 moveset is called Ninja. Ninjutsu. So I was like, oh, of course that's the one I'm going to get. Then I read the next one, and it's Hellfire. And he's covered in the flames of hell. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I choose?
So is it supposed to work like how there was at one point in the long line of Mortal Kombat, one of them had it where they had 3 fighting sets like that, and you could shift between them during combat. And one of them was a weapon system. I think it was 6.
5 or 6, because that's where like Scorpion just started doing like drunken monkey kung fu out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it made no goddamn sense.
Yeah,
and I remember that one didn't. It worked okay because like you could chain combo the moves across the sets together. But is that how it's supposed to work again, or is it like you choose your character and then you choose their move set?
Yeah, it's like you choose. You're going to choose Cassie Cage, and then when you choose Cassie Cage, there's like 3 little bubbles.
Okay.
And each of the bubble represents the different version of that character that you're going to use those movesets for.
Well, that's kind of like kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's like, what set do you choose? I mean, like they still have the same basic like combos, the same basic like special moves, but
no, these are going to be different.
Oh,
these are different.
Marvel vs. Capcom, you choose like your special
power
move.
That's right. Yeah, it's your power move. Okay. Interesting, yeah.
But regardless, the game does look super badass. I'm not really too stoked about having to buy another video game system because after I bought an Xbox 360, I'm like, I'm done. I don't need this new shit. But they've proven me wrong.
If you wait long enough, the price will go down some more.
I still need to get a Wii. Goddamn. So I can play Muramasa.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Of all I watched pretty much every one of the major press release, conference things that the companies do for E3 because it starts Tuesday and it ends on Thursday. But Monday is when most of the press conferences happen. So, like, the first one is Microsoft's, and then EA does one, then Ubisoft does one, and then Sony does the last one that night. And then Nintendo, the day of E3, they don't have a press conference that they do live. They have a pre-recorded thing that they air across the net on all these different things. And then they were at the show this year, which they hadn't. I don't think they were at the last one. But of all 5 of those, the 2 best ones were Nintendo and Ubisoft's. And the reason is because Microsoft's and Sony's were like almost 2 hours each. So it's just like, this is getting really long. And during each one of them, they didn't really show anything. They showed a few exclusive games to the console, but not a lot. And to me, the whole point of a console is you have all these exclusive games that make me want to buy your system. If you all have the exact same games, then I'm just going to buy the one that's the most powerful and not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in that case, you end up with the PS4 because it's slightly more powerful than the Xbox One, not by much, or you're just buying whichever one you like. Oh, I like Sony more than I like Microsoft. Okay, whatever. And so in each one of their press conferences, most of the games they showed also were then showed at the EA or the Ubisoft because they were EA or Ubisoft games. And you got to see a lot more at those press conferences. So it's like, These are just kind of ways to watch these. Microsoft will do stupid shit too. Like they showed me a trailer for this game that I've never heard of. That's a whole new franchise, and I'm like, God, that trailer's amazing. What is this? Tell me more about it. Never talk about it again. But look at Call of Duty. Fuck Call of Duty, man. Fuck Call of Duty. Fuck Assassin's Creed. I see that shit every year, and it's the same fucking game. Who gives a goddamn?
Tell it on the mountain, brother.
I preach it. But Nintendo, the reason theirs was so good, one, it was 45 minutes. Okay. Two, it was pre-recorded, and that pre-recorded, you don't really think that's a good thing. It is, because it cuts out all the awkward moments that you have during like Microsoft's where like they built in moments for applause and no one claps. Like, and
I want to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah,
that always strikes me as strange. It's like, who the fuck writes in spaces for applause?
Well,
just
they
fucking pause if someone claps.
They hire people to applaud.
Oh,
Are you fucking serious?
No, both of them do. All of those major people, like whenever you see one of these huge press conference things like that for these companies where they're doing announcements, they have people that are paid to applaud. And like I've read where, like especially at E3, it's really bad, they say, but a lot of the people who are there for reporting purposes will say like, yeah, none of the reporters clap during that. That's all the upfront people who are being paid to sit up front and clap because that's where the cameras are going to pan. They're not the actual like reporters.
it's so goddamn stupid.
Yeah, and it's so when you watch it, you hear people clapping, so it's like, oh, people must be happy to hear about this, even if they don't give a shit. Like, you know, Microsoft opened with Call of Duty. Who gives a fuck? I mean, why are you clapping?
There are plenty of people who probably do give a fuck. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
one of those
she's
games.
still-
Why announce it? We know there's a new one. You do a new one every year.
Announce if there's not one. That'll be something.
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, you probably get a lot of clapping. But Nintendo's was not pre-recorded, so it also not only cut out those weird pauses where they should be clapping but they're not. It also cut out when people got on stage and are like really awkward because they don't really have a good speaking, but because they're higher up in the company, they put them out there. Nintendo filled the gaps with these. They actually paid the Robot Chicken guys to make little sketches of stuff. They were pretty funny. The other thing is Nintendo only showed exclusive content. They only showed you stuff that you could get on a Wii U or a 3DS. Basically, they showed you why you should be buying their console. Rather than, like, look at all these games, which are going to be on, like, you know, PS4 and Xbox One and a PC. So if you already own a PC, it's going to look better anyways because it's going to be more powerful than either of these systems. So don't even bother buying our systems. You don't really need them.
Man.
You know? I mean, like, I was glad when I watched them. Like, man, I'm glad I bought a Wii U because, fuck, I want all those games.
Now you get to see Luigi's death stare any fucking time you want. That is one of the best jokes to come out this year.
It
might I add.
is.
Yeah. I love that. So for those who don't know, Mario Kart 8 just came out, which is fucking awesome. It's like probably one of the best games I've played on the Wii U so far. And it's probably one of the best Mario Karts in several years. But people have, when you play the game, like when you finish a level, it will do replays, and it does like these kind of close-ups of like scenes where people got hit by the blue or red shell and stuff like that, or hit a banana peel. So people have realized, though, when he does the close-up of Luigi, like, shelling somebody or something, he just death stares the fuck out of people, man. Like,
He looks like a hitman.
Yeah.
Just shot his target and is reflecting on how easy they were to kill.
Yeah, literally. It's like Golgo 13, man.
Yeah. It's just like mean eyebrows, slight sneer. The best one is, I think, it's Princess Rosalind.
Mm-hmm.
The way the video goes is this, is you see it fades into the track. You see Rosalind up front. You see Luigi coming up behind. You see him throw a turtle shell. And as it's playing, Riding Dirty plays.
Yeah.
A fucking rap song. So it hits Princess Rosalind, or whatever her fucking name is. Her car blows up. He hits a ramp.
He does this fucking barrel roll.
And he does a barrel roll while turning around and looking at her like, yeah, bitch!
Yep.
You dead! And it's the fucking most glorious thing I've watched that one video at least 8 times in a row.
I wanna see somebody like Photoshop like Luigi's death stare face on Kenshiro, and just say you're already dead.
That would be
And he
genius.
could do the because Kenshiro does the jump kick move, and like
Yeah.
Luigi on Super Mario Brothers 2, when he would jump up, he'd move his legs all fast.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
Well, like I think it was this year. I think it was this year, especially the year of Luigi. So I guess that's their year. That's why he's got the death stare. It's like, this is his year, motherfucker.
He's always been my favorite. I liked him better than Mario anyway, just because he's green.
I was going to say, because he wears green.
Yep.
He had a better jump, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. In that game, he was of the two brothers, he was the better to use.
He had his own
Princess.
mansion.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion.
But, yeah, I mean, E3, there was a lot of good stuff this year, but I felt that that Nintendo probably had the much better show. Because the other thing they did, which was awesome, was that when the other, companies were, after their press conference, they were done, they had nothing else to share. Nintendo literally still was like, oh, wait, we only have 45 minutes. We're also going to go ahead and announce the new Star Fox game for the Wii U and then Mario Party 10. We just didn't put those in the video because we didn't have time. It's like, you only forgot like 2 huge titles because you didn't have time? My bad. And then for the next 3 days, they had this kind of crew of people who would bring on developers and they would get to talk with them, and then they would play the game for like 30 minutes to an hour, and they would air it on the internet so you could watch it. And it was like, man, this is cool because I actually get to see the gameplay of actual playing rather than like, this is the cool gameplay. We cut it down to like for 2 minutes so you can watch and make it look good when it's really going to be a shitty ass game.
This is the ironic situation about that. They're like, you know what we need to do? Fucking take all the money from the people doing Let's Plays by putting our commercials on there and taking all their money. What would be a good advertising thing? Let's play the game over the internet. So people
Yeah.
That's awesome. Fuck you, Nintendo.
They had slacked up on that, but then like when the Mario Kart 8 came out, they started hitting people hard with it. Like,
is there a story mode for Mario Kart 8?
there's not, but imagine like 8 people playing that game, and that game's very angry, competitive, ensuing. So you can hear and see a lot of funny things. I don't watch any of them because it's like, I don't think that's entertaining enough for me. I'm sorry. But a lot of people, I know like bigger YouTubers have talked about, they've been dinged by Nintendo, so they just stopped putting them up.
Dude, you know what would be a great comedy sketch? Have like some pasty white guy sitting at home playing Mario Kart. He's like,
Yeah, I'm about to throw the death shell at Princess Rosalind.
and all of a sudden you hear, and he's like,
Somebody's at my door.
and then it cuts to him getting up and opening the door, and Luigi's there with this fucking death stare. And he's like, boom! And he punches him right in the face and just walks off. They see me rolling.
They hate him.
And he's
Mario's
like walking
still-
on slow motion. His house blows up. Oh, man, that'd be great.
Did you hear about the person who was streaming there's one of these games like League of Legends. It's called Dota Defense of the Ancients 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this girl, she's a professional streamer, I'm pretty sure. She was streaming the game, and she's streaming it. She's got a camera on her, so like you can see her reactions and stuff, and she's kind of a cute girl, I guess, so she's one of those people. But her her apartment got broken into while this was happening.
Oh, wow.
And like, you could see her hear a knock and then hear some commotion and run out there to see what was going on. And then a few minutes later, this guy comes in there and he starts going through her stuff, getting her guns. Like, she had a collection of guns. He starts taking all of them, and he walks off screen. And then the people who are watching her stream tell the other people who are friends, because they're all professional streamers that she was playing with, that, hey, she's not in her room anymore. There's some stranger in her house. And so they're trying to get on Skype to figure out, does anybody know how we can call, anybody know where she lives so we can call the police? Eventually they find someone who does. And the police go, and her boyfriend, I guess, were okay, but somebody broke in and stole, like, her guns and a bunch of other stuff.
Hell yeah, gamer.
And it was filmed, like, live, because the only reason it stopped filming was the guy, like, unplugged her computer and took it. So,
Wow.
yeah, I watched the video, and like, it's kind of creepy. And you can tell he doesn't realize he's being filmed.
How awesome would it be if he started up his own play-along channel?
With the computer.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm taking this channel over, motherfucker. It's about to get real.
He just plays Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
all day on this stream.
Evan, that's racist to assume that he was a black man. He was actually a white guy.
He could have been an Eminem fan. He could have been Irish.
He
Are
could have
you
worked.
assuming
You
that
assuming that he's black.
Are you assuming that all Eminem fans speak
Yes.
like that?
Mhm.
That's probably fairly accurate.
Maybe they just work at the Dairy Queen over there by the Sam's they're making. Everybody talks like, doesn't matter what color they are, they all talk.
Welcome to Dairy Queen. You want a motherfucking cheeseburger? Then get the fuck out. I actually want to go to that Dairy Queen.
Actually, no, I came to the Dairy Queen because I want ice cream. Isn't that what you sell here?
They're actually pretty amusing over there.
All right, hold up. Get this motherfucker an ice cream. Get him out of my goddamn store. Let's open a fast food restaurant like that, please.
There are restaurants like that where you go in there, people treat you like shit. I mean, I know there are some in Japan, but there are actual ones like that over here in America too.
Yeah, it's called every one of them in Macon.
It's called fast food.
They weren't. I mean, there were perfectly nice people over there at Dairy Queen. Don't get me wrong, but they did that to each other kind of. I remember right when they were going to close, like we were in there, and like I don't know what to do. It's like she was like, "Let me get that towel." It's like, "Get your own towel." And she just looks at it, and the girl just stops and looks at her with this look on her face. I just start laughing my ass off. Like, I wish you could see. I wish I could do the face so I could show Evan, and I wish you could see it if I could do it. But it's just like, oh my god, it was the best look ever. And she's like, it's like, did you see how I looked at her? Yes, I did.
She asked you that?
Yes, I was like, yes, I did, and it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
We should open up a thing restaurant where it's like,
yeah,
it just be shitty, and it's like people pull up to the drive-thru and the first thing they hear is
Mendokse.
Yeah, and they're like, "Are you gonna just be like, what? What do you want? Can I have a cheeseburger? Free size with every combo.
Would you like some size with that?
What size do you want?
Can I get like a long, like just infuriated sigh? That sounded more like your last breath, like you were dying. Just letting it out.
I spit my last breath. Blood for blood. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Did you see the thing where they were talking about free shrugs? The guy was just giving out free shrugs to people.
That's your AWA costume.
That is. Just like, just kind of like,
So let me bring us back on track. Okay, everybody knows now, most everybody knows that Pac-Man is the new character and super goddamn amazing fucking ultra badass Smash Brothers 17 or whatever the game. What's it called, Kyle?
I think it's just Super Smash Bros. I don't know if it has a subtitle. If it does, I don't remember it.
Well, that's bad titling because there's already a Super Smash Brothers, you dumb bastard.
It's probably Super Smash Bros. Wii U.
So now is the part where we say, what character would we, the offenders, bring from Nintendo lore to bring in to Super Smash Brothers, whatever the fuck it's called? And I'll start it out. And I know all you already think you know the answer. Evan's going to bring Bad Street Brawler into it.
No. Who is that? That'd be my question if that's what you were going to say.
I remember that game.
Thank you, Shane. Bad Street Brawler was this terrible video game where you were a white man with like a fucking Vanilla Ice haircut and some sunglasses, a yellow tank top, some yellow booty shorts, and some yellow sneakers. And you walked up and down the same street, 7 different levels, and you would just like kick dogs and beat up small mafiosos, and you would say like really dumb things. Like at the end of each one, it'd be your one-liner, and it was terrible. But that's not who I choose. I choose Kunio. Can you imagine how fucking badass it would be to have fucking
Kunio
Alex and Ricky from fucking River City Ransom, the Stonehands, the Dragon Feet, the Acro Circus,
and then
the Javelin Man.
Every time you hit somebody, coins fall out of them.
Yes! Yes! And when you win, you get the fucking smile, like when you get the smile from
Yes.
from Merv's Burger Joint.
Alex.
You could not have a better character than them.
Mm-hmm.
They could bring chains out of nowhere. When you hit people, they would go barf.
That would be great.
So that is my vote. I would prefer Kunio, the Japanese version, because he's got the cool, like high school pseudo gangster outfit. But I'll take Alex, from River City Ransom, which is the blue jeans and the white shirt. And I pass it on to whoever wants to go next.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've played all Nintendo games. I don't know what's already in there because I don't play Super Smash Bros.
Well, let me list it. And there may still be more. I mean, the game doesn't come out to the end of the year. The 3DS one comes out in October, but then the Wii U one comes out a bit later. But so the ones that have been out so far is Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, Kirby, Fox from Star Fox, Pikachu, Bowser, Pit, who is the character from Kid Icarus,
yeah.
Villager from Animal Crossing, Mega Man, the Wii Fit Trainer, Pikmin and Olimar, which is from the Pikmin game, Luigi, Peach, Toon Link from Wind Waker, Sonic the Hedgehog, Marth from Fire Emblem, Rosalina and Luma, which are one of the princesses, I think, from the Mario Galaxy series, Zelda, King Dedede, who is from Kirby, Lucario, who's a Pokemon, Little Mac from Punch-Out, Diddy Kong, Zero Suit Samus, which is a different Samus, Sheik from Zelda, Yoshi, Charizard, Pokemon, Greninja, which is a Pokemon, Ike, who he's the only one I'm not sure on. I think Ike is from Fire Emblem also. Pac-Man, Palutena, who is the mother of Pit, so the mother of Kid Icarus, and then you can actually make custom ones using the Mii system from the Wii, so you can make your own Mii fighters. So I don't really know. They have so many in there. It's like, the only one that somebody was mentioning that they haven't announced that would, there's some of them that have been in other games that they haven't announced for this one, such as like Ness from Earthbound. And Captain Falcon from F-Zero.
Yeah.
They haven't announced him either. I mean, they assume they're going to announce them. The Ice Climbers haven't been announced either. So I don't know. Those are past ones that haven't been announced.
So who would you choose from the Nintendo annals of history?
Well, Sonic's not from Nintendo. But if you're going to have Sonic, I mean, maybe you could have Robotnik.
That's true, because Sega bought the rights. Yeah, fuck it, why not? That would be great.
Then I want fucking Shadow Dancer and his dog.
Yeah, fucking Shinobi. Good choice.
I would say anything from Capcom should be fair game too, because Mega Man's Capcom.
Ooh, shit.
Who is
what that means?
You could have the dog from the robotic dog from Mega Man, and then who was the girl? Yeah, Rush. Was it Roll?
Yeah. Roll.
So.
Hell yeah, that would be fucking great. Dude, you could jump on Rush and he would turn into a fucking rocket and you could just run over their face. Just burn them right up.
Wasn't Final Fantasy VI only on Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Then they need to have Shadow and his dog instead.
An Interceptor. Fucking Wildfang. Some motherfucker's chasing you with a big jumpy fucking hammer and it's like Wildfang. Ow, ow, ow. It bites the fucking hammer out of his hand, and Shadow gets it all of a sudden. Boom, 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 boom. You got the hammer.
Probably not, unfortunately, because I don't think Squeenix has much to do with Nintendo anymore. I think their only things are usually on, like, the handheld. So, yeah, the depression suddenly strikes in. Though, a character from Mario that's not been in this is Toad, but Toad's getting his own game.
What?
Yeah, so, like, in the Wii U, there's a game called Super Mario 3D World, and I've played the 3DS version. It's called 3D Land. It's really good. So I've heard the other one's good too. But there's like a mini game in there. It's called like Toad's Treasure Hunt or something. They're actually turning that mini game into a full-on game called like Captain Toad's Treasure Hunter Extravaganza Blowout or something ridiculous. I mean, I think it's like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker is what it is, actually.
Captain Toad's Adjective Chest.
Isn't that almost the name of a fucking ride at Disneyland? Captain Toad's Wild Ride?
Oh, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Toad's Wild Ride. And that's based on The Wind in the Willows, though, not Toad from Mario.
Okay.
They should just fill out, like, more Star Fox characters too. Like I want Slippy.
Go a barrel roll.
Yeah, was that the donkey? I can't remember the donkey's name.
I don't know. He's some jackass.
I know a lot of people too are kind of saying that like they wish there would be more. Like some of the Pokemon they chose, they chose like off the wall Pokemon. Like Greninja's from like the newest one. They're like they should choose like some of the older ones like Squirtle or Mew or something. But I don't know.
Squirtle sounds like an off-brand soda pop.
It does.
I always thought Squirtle sounded like an accident you make in your pants. It's like, oh, I just had a Squirtle. I need to go change my pants. That Taco Bell went right through me. I just made a Squirtle. I'll be right back.
Fuck, I still haven't had the Taco Bell breakfast yet. What the fuck is wrong with me?
That looks disgusting. I'm not
probably
gonna lie.
right with you.
Yeah.
But it's waffles and sausage.
See, yeah, but okay, so here's my thing, is that I've gotten into the habit of not eating that kind of food, so now when I think about eating that food, it doesn't really appeal to me. And that Taco Bell stuff like looks terrible.
Well, perhaps you would find a banana more appealing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, your jokes. If we can even call them that.
As long as it steals a portion of your soul, a la Shang Tsung, doing a very weak, low calf kick. A portion, your part of your soul is mine. And they're just like, oh. Instead of, ah.
So, talking about Shang Tsung, that kind of comes back to Mortal Kombat. Here's a question. So I always thought it was cool. I think it was like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 he could do this, where he could change into other characters. He could, I know in some of the later games he couldn't. He'd always was himself. Did you ever actually learn how to play him and change in all the other characters so you could use their moves?
Fuck yeah, dude.
I never did. I thought it was just way too much. I was like, God, I gotta remember all that. Fuck it.
Man, I would buy, like, I would play games, you know, and I'd be good at them. But every now and then I would get lazy if I didn't want to put in all the hard work, and I would just buy the book, like the magazine. It's like, here's every combo possible.
You remember?
I did that for Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I bought the book that had all their moves, all the fatalities, and everything, because I was like, there's so many characters in this game. Fuck memorizing this.
You remember when it was in the arcade, it first came to the arcade, and we go down to the bowling alley, and that fucking guy's there with the fucking ream of paper that he's printed off from the internet, and he's testing it because he doesn't know if it's real or not. It's like, this must not be real. Oh, this is the real fatality. This is the real fatality. Awesome.
God, I forgot about that dude.
It says right here there's a rumor that you could knock them in front of the train.
Yeah. You can knock off 2 heads with Johnny Cage. You can knock 2 heads off with
Johnny Cage.
God, how many quarters was that guy putting in that machine?
Just as many as we were. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We skipped school to go to the fucking bowling alley, play Mortal Kombat. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Man, them were good days.
They were.
You know, I never actually skipped school to do anything like that.
That's why you're a math magician.
Maybe so. I think the only time I would skip school, like, we would do, like, our lunch. We would skip school to go get something to eat and then come back. Because you weren't supposed to do that, but I would.
Hell, small rebellion is still rebellion.
Yeah. Well, also, there was a teacher who would, oh God, so this dude was like, he was like 3 people. That's how big he was. He was huge. And so not only was he huge, but like, he was like the girls' soccer coach, which I'm like, really? This guy?
That's a little weird.
This guy's not going to know how to play soccer. I mean, this guy, I think I only ever saw him out of his chair, which was to go up and down the stairs to the building he was in and get in his car. He would literally park his car at the stairwell and get in his car and drive it around to the other side of the building if he had to go to the office. So, but he would give people just money and say, like, here, go to Crystal and just buy me like a sackful or 2 sackfuls.
Hell yeah!
And he would eat them, like, not like, I take a bite, and then I'm done. He would just be like,
take a crystal, take another crystal.
Yeah, crystal. Done. Another crystal. Done. And that's how he would eat them, man.
I like this guy.
I'm pretty sure he died at the ripe old age of 29.
That's a valiant death.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. I just remember him. He taught art too, which really meant that he didn't do anything, and he just did girls soccer for the most part. So,
you have to think about it from the perspective of the ball. I've worked on this. I've obtained the shapes of the ball. I know the mind of the ball.
Oh God,
that's what it was.
I guess so.
That's why he was an artist too. He's very imaginative.
Speaking of school, let me tell you something that I used to tell my friends when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out. This was my plan. It made perfect sense back then. I'm going to get the Tanuki suit. And when I get the Tanuki suit, I'm going to go into the girls' bathroom, and I'm going to turn into a stone statue. And I'm going to look at their boobies. And they'll never catch me.
God damn it.
And now, I think, why the fuck would somebody not be weirded out by a statue in the middle of the fucking bathroom? But my little brain didn't think of that. All I thought of was, I want to see whoever's boobies. The way to do that is the Tanuki suit that I will jump through the TV to borrow from Mario, explain the usage, get a high five, go back, use it, and then hand it back to him the next day.
The amazing part is, if you could somehow get your hands on something like that, you could already do something so amazing that that's no longer even important anymore.
Of course it's important. What blasphemy?
No, because there's a better way. See, you are evil overlord. It's like, so you're ultra powerful, right? Yeah. And you have all this money, right? Yeah. You could get all the girls you wanted anyway. Why are you even kidnapping one?
Hey, I ain't kidnapping nobody. I'm just sneaking into the fucking women's locker room.
Oh, is that all? That's okay. No, what I'm saying is, what's with the elaborate plan? If you could do something that amazing, you probably wouldn't need to do it.
Let me give you an amazingly brilliant answer. When you have that much money, you have nothing but time on your hands. And in order to keep yourself entertained, you have to come up with some wonky-ass bullshit plans to go through some stupid shit just to keep yourself entertained, because there's nothing else.
I always thought about that. I wonder if there's like an upper limit. Once you get so much money, you just lose your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
And what I would have is, I would have my ninja girl that I would have if I had that much money, and she'd be armed with a newspaper. Or no, I'd give her a shinai. Not even padded, because it's dangerous when you got that much money.
Those fucking hurt.
And if I get out of control, like if I'm up there talking, and I'm like, and then, I don't like you poor people. I don't have to deal with you. And she just whacked me over the head. And I'm like, ow, what the fuck? She's like, you need to donate some money right now. You have too much. And I'd write the check out, and I'd be like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. I had too much. I've given some away now. I feel all right. And then, the interest would get me back up. Then she had to whack me again.
That's how drunk people work. Because they get drunk and then they're like, what the fuck are you looking at? It's like, Jimmy, I'm your friend. It's like, no, you're fucking staring at my polo shirt because you fucking want to steal it. I will fucking kill it. And then you punch him and it's like, Jimmy, calm the fuck down. And Jimmy's like, I'm sorry, man. I just had a bad week at work.
I just had too much money. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it is. You got drunk on money.
Well, I was just going to say, talking about drunk, sometimes, like, with some people are like, it doesn't matter the situation. They are the worst fucking drunks ever. And I just don't want to be around them. Those are the people that's like, they got a beer in their hand. Peace out. I'm leaving. Because I know it's going to happen.
Happy birthday. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yeah. Some people, though, like, they're generally just, okay. They might be loud and kind of funny. But if they have something bad going on, that's when they kind of have the bad drunk situation. Those people aren't as bad. But, man, those ones... everybody's got that friend that's like a terrible drunk. The one where it's like when everybody sees him drink and they're all like, God damn it.
He's going to end up vomiting in the bushes and waking up in that same spot tomorrow morning.
Nightmare. I don't know if I've told that story.
Let it happen, man.
I may have already told this. Due to years of past drug abuse, I have a very terrible memory of a lot of things. So anyways, years ago, a bunch of us went out, and we were kind of... My roommate at the time, who was Chris, who's been on like an earlier episode of the podcast, he was driving another friend of ours, Ryan, who was staying with us for something. I think we were going to go to, I think it was like Dragon Con or something weekend, and we were going to go somewhere, or maybe Ryan was just crashing to hang out or something. I don't know. So we went to go see somebody's band play. And it's hard to say which band, because...
Intoxicated.
Was it Intoxicated? Yeah, it wasn't. I do remember it's Intoxicated.
Appropriately.
Yeah. So Ryan drinks a lot. And Ryan drank, and Ryan was being Ryan, but he didn't get as drunk as he does sometimes. But another guy showed up named Nightmare that we all kind of know. I don't really know Nightmare well, but a lot of people, whatever. I may not should be using names, because a lot of people listening to this might know who we're talking about. But anyways... We'll call him Dreamweaver from this point forward.
So tell us the story of Dreamweaver.
So Dreamweaver, also known as Nightmare, gets really drunk. And like, I want to say I've been told he was out of rehab or something, or he was coming out of rehab. And so to celebrate, he got fucked up. Sounds like a great plan.
Merca.
Yeah, so... He didn't have a ride home, but he didn't live too far from where he's at, but he didn't think he could drive, so he actually asked my roommate to drive him to his apartment. And Chris was like, yeah, I'll be nice and do it. So he's driving, Ryan's in the front seat, Dreamweaver's in the back seat, and suddenly Chris just starts hearing, And Dreamweaver is throwing up on himself. He doesn't get any in the car. It's all on himself. And he's like, oh my God. So he pulls over to let him get out of the car and throw up. So he goes over in downtown Macon. He's throwing up in the bushes. And drunk Ryan's just like, fuck him. Let's go. Chris is like, all right. Drives away. And we never knew if Dreamweaver got home that night. So the next day, I asked Dreamweaver's friend, hey, you know what happened to him that night? Yeah, he just said he woke up in the bushes in the middle of downtown. He didn't know what happened, how he got there. And I told him the story, and he's just like, oh, God.
Oh, fuck him, let's go. And he, of course, it's Chris, so he does. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because they were gonna meet me. I drove myself for some reason. I think I was coming from somewhere. I was like, I'll just meet you there. And then we went somewhere to eat afterwards, which Ryan needed to eat because his ass was drunk as fuck. He needed food. Because I never forget afterwards they told me about this, and Ryan's sitting there and he's eating French fries all like with drunk Ryan face smiling and just like stuffing just fries in his face, just like, just like falling out, and he's just smiling like
like a fucking cow chewing grass.
Yeah, chewing cud. Like,
And wasn't at some point Nightmare so drunk that he thought you were our other friend Stuart, and he's like, hello, Stuart.
Yeah, you mean Dreamweaver? Yeah, Dreamweaver thought I was
Stuart. I'm sorry. Dreamweaver called you Stuart.
I don't think he's ever known my name because I've only ever met him 3 times, but I just know who he is because of Circle of Friends situation. And I just remember when he said that, I was like, what the fuck did you say? And he was like, and he's walked away.
That was a frequent mistake people would make.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, Chris, and Stuart, they all called them each other's names. Now, here's the thing. They don't look the same at all.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Maybe it's because they all hung out together, so when you met them, you had trouble remembering which name went with which one of those 3.
Maybe. That's what it was.
I think that does happen a lot when you associate groups of people together. You can confuse the people within the group because my advisor up here, like, she'll oftentimes call me the name of another student, and it's because when she sees us, typically we're together because we're meeting her for advising work or for grant work, and so she's like, she'll call me Alex and she'll call him Kyle. What's even crazier, she has a cat named Alex, so when she says Alex, sometimes I have to really ask her because she doesn't, like, it's not like she's like, I had to clean Alex's litter box. Okay, I know which Alex she's talking about. But sometimes she'll say stuff, I'm like, you had to get medicine for which Alex? The cat or the person?
When I woke up this morning, Alex was in my bed, right in my face.
Yeah, and like my first thought is like, oh wait, yeah, she has a cat named Alex too. Okay.
That
really
reminds
weird
me.
situations.
There used to be a place, we all would hang out at this place, Dunkin Donuts, which was in this area where we would all hang out and talk about role-playing game stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, down on the other side of that small strip mall was a Chinese place called Chin's Wok.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that worked there met myself and our mutual friend through the offenders, a guy named Sam, at the same time. That dude called me Sam for 7 years. And I never fucking corrected him because I didn't want to be like, those last 6 years you've been calling me Sam? That's not my name. Because that's awkward. And I don't want to make him feel bad because obviously he thought it was important enough to try to remember my name with my face, so I want him to hold on to that glory.
All right. Last story for this episode. And the only reason I'm thinking of it is because you mentioned Dunkin Donuts.
Are you going to tell that story?
I'm going to tell that story. Shane already knows. So, at one point, I don't remember how this conversation got started, but we were talking about, like, and this is like
Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. I should remember. Mr. Brown. We'll call him Mr. Brown. So Mr. Brown and I started talking, and somehow we start talking about, this is like early 2000, 2001, maybe 2 at the latest. We start talking about stuff at the early age of the internet, because when the internet first started, like, if a video popped up or something popped up, everybody would see it because there's only like 2 things on the internet. And it's like, oh, what's this other thing? I'll go look at it. And so
that's
he's
before people didn't know not to click on links people should send you.
Yeah, this is very true. So he was like, have you ever seen that video of that woman sucking a horse's dick and choking on it?
and of course, the whole thing, people thought like, yeah, and we made the noise like, that noise.
That's
it. Evan did it better. Yeah. So when we made that noise, someone turns is like, that's the sound of the woman just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the sound of the woman choking on the horse's dick.
So then we're like, how many people, if we make that noise, will know what it is without us telling them? So someone come in again and we're like, and they're like, that's the noise of someone.
It was like 11 out of 12 people recognized it.
11 out of 12 people recognized the noise without anybody saying anything.
That's so funny. Because it's like, that means 11 out of 12 people at almost any given place
not
looking at horse porn.
Not necessarily.
No.
Consider the group that we were with.
Yeah, we have to.
11 out of 12 of those type.
I can't let you make those statements as a statistician, Evan.
Okay, you're at Dragon Con. 11 out of 12 people.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah. And in a situation like that, if we're gonna say that kind of person that we had in our group of friends, or they really not all of our friends, that group of people, we'll just say that. 11 out of 12 of those people that we asked. So, proportion, 11/12 of that type of people should recognize that sound. In that age range, too, I'd say. So.
Truthfully, though, to be fair to them, if you'd seen the video and heard the noise, you will not forget it.
Yeah, it's because it's from that time on the internet where, like, there wasn't a lot of really crazy stuff, but when there was crazy stuff, it's etched in your mind, like, Tub Girl. Like, I mean, I could say Tub Girl, and people are like, oh, I know, I know Tub Girl. Yeah, uh-huh. Goatsy. Oh, yeah, yep, I know Goatsy. It's just because, and see, I think I'm proud to have grown up during that time of the internet, because you know what? I'm desensitized to that kind of shit. I'll see stuff now, and it's still like, that's fucked up. Just keep going. Doesn't affect me. My mind has been, like, calloused towards it. And I'm glad. I'm proud. I'm proud to have grown up during the age of the birth of the internet and the ruining of society.
Fucking style project.
You children haven't.
Style
man.
project. Was the other albino black sheep that had all the crazy stuff on there?
Junction.
And, that one's still around, I think, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I just go to Reddit now. You can find anything you need on Reddit. So,
I just type people falling off bicycles on YouTube. People slipping on ice. I'll watch that shit for hours.
Yeah, whenever I see a picture of somebody falling or something, I always send it to Evan. Usually because I know he's going to enjoy it.
Yep. Even like when I trip, I laugh on the way down. It's like it's the most pure adoration of the human accident possible. Like, even when I myself fall, it is hilarious because I can step outside of myself, remove the personality that is Evan, and watch myself fall and appreciate it. Humor.
Well, like, one of my favorite things to do is, like, you Google that kind of stuff or YouTube that stuff. I like to go on Reddit and just find, like, crazy subreddits. And some of them are great. Like, one of my new favorite ones is called Idiots Fighting Things. And it's usually like somebody like running at a door to punch it, and like the door like whoops his ass, or somebody kicking like a car window and falling and hitting his head on the concrete and knocking himself out or something. Or there's one, it's called Drunk or a Kid, and somebody will post the title. It'll be like, there's one, it's just like, stumbled down the stairs, stood up, puked all over the stairs, and ran away. So then you go, you go in the comments, and they has it set where it's spoilered, so you can't see what the answer is, and you vote for which one you think it is. Do you think he was drunk or a kid? And then you can see, oh, I was right. 40 people were right on this one.
That's so appropriate.
Yeah, drunk or a kid. Like, I don't know. I think he was drunk in that. It's like, no, it turned out he's just a kid. Kids do the damnedest things. But at the same time, I also have, like, I'm also subscribed to, like, the math and the statistics and all these other things on there that actually have like really solid information and discussion. So it's kind of like sometimes when I'm reading through, I have to like, okay, fight in a church's chicken. Here's some news about what's going on in Iraq. Oh, here's somebody who's studying higher math. And it's like, oh, here's somebody puking, into somebody else's mouth. What the fuck? That's disgusting. It's just like, man. I like to keep my life as like a risk area. I don't know whatever I'm going to get when I go to pages and stuff. In fact, there's a subreddit for that too. It's called 50/50. And they'll put the title, it'll be like a bundle of cute kittens in a basket or somebody's partially degloved penis. And it's like, am I going to take the risk? There's a 50-50 chance it's the kittens. There's a 50-50 chance it's a degloved penis. Let me click it. Fuck it, degloved penis. Damn it, I lost.
Real easy way to get out of that, type in basket full of kittens on Google.
Yeah, but there's no risk. There's no risk or reward in that.
Yes, there is. There's only reward in that case.
No. I like the risk side of it, too. I like to live dangerously.
If you say so. I think I'd rather watch people fall with Evan than take that.
Hell yeah, high five.
Yes.
That was bad high
That
five.
was a bad high
There
five.
we go.
Do you remember the week of the cursed stare? If we both looked at the kid that would fall.
Yes! Yes, I do!
First, we were at not CC's.
Blockbuster Video was the first one, I think.
No, that was the second one.
That
The
was the
first
second
one was what the fuck was the pizza place?
Cece's
So,
Pizza.
well, explain
But Stevie
to
B's.
me.
Stevie B's. It was Stevie B's. We were sitting there, and Evan was looking out the window. He's like, "Look at that kid," because he's doing something against the window. And I turned my head, and we were both looking at him. Boom! He just fell immediately. And then we just start laughing.
Yeah.
And then at Blockbuster Video, like I was looking, and I'd forgotten that those kids. When you remember when they had the skate shoes,
The Heelys.
the
They were
Heelys.
Heelys.
I just see this kid gliding along, and I'm like, "What the? Oh, they're sick." I was like, "Oh, hey, Evan, look at this kid over there!" And as soon as he turned to, boom! The kid just busts his ass and goes sliding across the concrete.
Oh, my God.
Face. That was like, obviously that day our good deeds have totaled up and the gods were like, today we will reward them with the gift of the sight.
Or maybe we were horrible people, and the evil gods gave us the cursed stare, the evil eye.
That's what it is.
Boom! Ah!
You know what I always like, too, with Evan is, like, that moment when you and him both see something that nobody else saw and you look at each other.
Yes!
The one I always remember with him is when we were doing the backyard wrestling stuff, and we're sitting there, and this kid just fell. Like, this kid just planted it, man, like, hard. And no one saw it. But me and Evan slowly turned and looked at each other, and we smiled and nodded, because we knew. We saw it. We saw it.
That's the best.
If I remember correctly, it was like his sister like whooped his ass, and we were the only ones that saw it. Like she just whooped the shit out of him,
Yes.
like his little sister, and he was like about to cry, and we were like, "Yep,
We synced it.
we synced it."
I synced.
Oh man, well I think that's about it. I think that's it. That's all we've got for today. So if you recognize the sound of a woman choking on a horse's cock, email us and let us know. You can send that to theoffenderspodcast@gmail.com. Or if you have anything else you want to talk about, you can send it to us there too. You know, if you want to send me some 50-50 shit, fuck it, I'll try it. I don't know.
He will. He likes the risk.
I mean, like I said, I'm desensitized. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's degloved penis, whatever. Next.
Who puts gloves on their penis?
People who are
It's a
cold.
bad idea, so they deglove it afterwards.
People who are cold. All right. Well, anyways, until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm still a guy who needs a slime girl with the magical booby juice water. That's it. It's my birthday season.
And I'm Shane.